Welcome back to the all-wheel drive El Camino build, and if you remember on the last episode, we built this custom NACA duct from scratch. Now the wind comes in, but the wind also has to come out. So now the idea is how are we gonna get air to flow out of that radiator? And I have an idea, and it's a bit weird. We are gonna take this radiator and take these dimensions and create ourselves a channel that flows out through the hood here. This piece is gonna be so large and so complex that we're not gonna use traditional aluminum. We are gonna dip our toes into some large format 3D printing, and this will be the first part ever printed for the all-wheel drive El Camino. I'm going to attempt to design the largest, most complex piece I've ever created, all with using the power of this iPad. So we're gonna need a couple of tools. And the most important tool, because I'm short. What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna get the box that I wanna travel off from. So I'm gonna ride the middle of this line. I don't wanna go too far over, too far under. So now that we have our box, and take these measurements. So we're gonna go 16.75, 25 and 8. Now this will be the most important thing that we have to take away from all this, because once I have my box, I have to figure out where in space the angle's gonna be. Come in here, 52.9. Now that we have the crude measurements where we're gonna start, we have to figure out where we're loosely gonna end. I'm gonna take this and ride our hood line and give us a position how high I want this to go. But now we have our go-to point of where this has to come and flow up to. So this is roughly 2.5. I'm actually gonna go a lot higher. I'm gonna go to 3. This will give me hopefully enough fat to make it to the bottom. There's a crease in the hood. And then really, I'm not worried about it being perfect to the hood. I can always build the bezels down to wherever the geometry is. We have a lot of ways to slice and dice it, but I wanna get pretty darn close. One thing is I'm actually gonna add in a step. As you guys see, this flows down. I'm gonna add some meat so this contours around us. So let's take these measurements. And then from there, I have to make sure that my inside lip, wherever this kind of duct wraps around it, I have enough room for this to actually spin. Measure this depth, add that into our design. What do we got? Okay, so we're gonna make sure that whatever comes in here is 0.30 negative so we don't hit this on this, and give myself a little more space so I can spin. We have 1.31. 0.29, so I'm gonna subtract that from that number, and then I'm gonna add how long this is, and that will give us a step. Now that I have my base geometry and the angle at which it starts, I actually have a starting point for the design. I need to figure out what the shape is coming out of the hood is gonna look like, so I really can't figure that out with the hood off. We have artistic leeway of how it comes out, but I can't wrap my head around what the proportions look like unless I draw it, put the hood on, and see what that looks like. So I went up and I designed a shape that I thought would look cool, and I started playing around with it, and I realized it's pretty hideous. So I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board. I'm just gonna work back and forth until I find something. So I'm gonna take this and start playing with it. Maybe I'll do some tape. Let's try to draw some kind of a shape on the other side freehand and see if we get some inspiration. I think I wanna do something more of, definitely bigger. It's gonna come around to a point from sort of a sharp angle, straight, and a tight radius in. Actually, I like that size. Maybe make this a little bit narrower. I might actually make this bigger. Yeah, kind of here. That seems to be way better. If we do it this way, though, it's gonna be huge. I'm not sold on this, but let's take some of these dimensions. We know the length and the width work. We're gonna shrink it in and then take that and see if we can start making something happen. We know where our start is, we know where our end's gonna be. We kind of know our height. Let's see if we can play with that. Now this is the fun part. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna dive in and give ourselves the freedom to just get weird with it and see where it goes. Now before I just go and design something, I'm gonna go check in with one of my friends who just happens to be a carbon fiber and 3D printing specialist. So for people on my channel who don't know who you are, I just want to introduce you real quick. I worked with you on a very special project 2 years ago or a year and a half ago.
I'm Nelson, and you know, as Donnie said, we did Resurrected Rides together.
Special talents. Something's got to do whoop, whoop. I just wanted to pick your brain before I dove down the rabbit hole and make sure I was going in the right direction before I committed to it. I plan on designing this huge vent, and I really want to 3D print it, but I don't know if it's even possible. This is going to be a huge piece. So I guess first off, how big of a piece can you print?
So I have a Make It 3D giant large format printer. It's like 4x2 by like 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're golden.
It's for your crazy El Camino build, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's nuts. Congratulations on that, by the way. You're making so much progress. It's crazy.
No, I am not. I feel like I'm going at a snail's pace. I wish I could do more, but it's only me.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give yourself credit. It's only you. You're just a one-man show. That's wild. Yeah.
Appreciate that, but at some point,
yeah, of course,
we get some more peeps. What do you need to be for thickness in the design?
It's typically a 4mm thickness of the part. So as you continue to print up along the Z-axis, 4mm, depending on height, is a good metric to use for stability.
At some point, I want a carbon fiber. I understand the 3D printer can print anything, but where are we at with shape-wise? Is there anything that I cannot do in the design that would make your life harder later on to actually make it carbon fiber?
Typically things that turn in on itself, which in composites we call it a negative draft angle. And that's an angle where it comes inward or back outward suddenly. And that creates an issue when we make it out of composite or carbon fiber. It's a dry layup process. That's an infusion of plastic material, which we call resin or epoxy or polyesters, vinyl esters. And the issue is when you do that, you create what's called mechanical lock in the molds. You put your hand in a hole and make a fist. Now you can't get your hand out. Same concept with composite. Encourage you to not get crazy. It's hard for you not to do though.
So what I picked up from you is like if I have a shape, it can't come out like this and then wrap around itself and come back out. It's going to get
exactly.
Okay, so I'll keep it simple as I possibly can.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Give it some artistic flair.
Yes.
Don't make it curve in on itself, and then we have the shape and I have the size. I already can tell this is the biggest thing I ever designed, so I'm hoping that it's all going to be good.
If we do have a good shape with PLA, the material, we can then move to something more engineering grade, like a nylon-based carbon or a nylon-based fiberglass. The other materials are very expensive. We want to use a cheap one to validate fitment.
Let's get it made. Let's test it. Make sure our theory works. And from there, we can plan
Yes.
a video, go from there.
Yes. Then we can bring out the expensive stuff and make something more enduring.
It means the world that you're going to be a part of this. Yeah, I'm going to dive into it, and I'll have a file to you in a couple of days. Hey, man, I miss you, buddy. Give me a fist bump.
Yep. I'll give you a fist bump.
Digital hug.
Oh, yeah. Like, boop, boop.
Toodaloo.
Ugh.
Oh, it's not letting me go. Now, before we do the full design, there's one more thing that I have to add to this radiator. Now that we got the radiator on the table, I'm gonna go ahead and install my auto plumb fittings. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget about anything when it came to me designing my scoop, and I wanted to get these installed just to make sure nothing was gonna interfere. This is a company called Auto Plumb. This is a bolt-on AN fitting that goes over the nipple of your radiator and actually clamps itself to it, so there's no cutting and fabricating. Usually what you do is you lob these off and you weld on an AN fitting, and then I came across this, and I think this is a cool way to help a lot of people if they don't have the ability to have a welder or they don't have the means to take the radiator out for some reason. This could be something that you could do in your own shop without all the equipment like we have here. This is comprised of the AN fitting, a seal, a backing plate, and a washer. When you put this together, it clamps on itself on the ridge and seals itself. All you have to do is have some basic tools, a wrench, some sealant, and a little plastic filter wrench, and you can install it. It's a super ingenious design, and once we get a feel for how it works, you can start running it throughout the car. First on the chopping block is I'm gonna clean this with a little bit of acetone. I'm gonna clean up all my parts, clean our sleeve, and get this prepped up. Then we're gonna flip our sleeve backwards and put this tape on here. This is gonna help us get some grip as we rotate this in the future. Just gonna make sure I put this on straight. Now, we've got some grip. This slides over, and we're gonna put just a light amount of grease onto our sleeve. This pops over. You might need to use a pair of pliers, but I think mine. And from there, we pop the sleeve over. This presses in. Now we're gonna use a little bit of black silicone. We're gonna coat our actual gasket. We're gonna roll this over, get this in and out, get a nice coat, make an absolute mess, pop this over. And the most important thing, seems like I read, is make sure this is seated right here. Now let's roll this over. Then our outer sleeve spins onto our new fitting. We're gonna take our time with this and let it seat itself onto the unit. Now that I have it tight, we're gonna go ahead and give it the final polish. This is sick. I can't believe how quick that was. All right, she is tight. So now this comes off. Let's peel away our tape. And then we're gonna give it the old chef's kiss and get rid of some of this silicone. I might have put a little too much silicone on this thing. Look at that, no welding, and it took me 4 minutes. Oh, that's sick. How cool is that? We are good to go. No lobbing, no cutting, no welding. Just a little bit of effort and some time. 4 minutes of it. We're rocking and rolling with a new AN fitting on our radiator. Golly. All right, I'm gonna prep the side, finish it up. We'll put the radiator back in. All right, my friends, we're gonna dive right in. This is a program called Shapr3D. I use my iPad and a stylus and allows me to freehand draw most of my designs. Now, I'm gonna slow this part of the video down just a tad from what I usually do. I wanted to give more of an insight on the design process for any of you guys out there who wanna dive into Shapr3D yourself. So what you've seen in the video so far is me create the bottom structure to the radiator and the top structure, which is the vent outside of the hood. From there, once I have those two shapes, I lofted them together to get me the generic shape that we're gonna work with. I played with it for a bit and kind of made something I was really into, and then from there I shelled it using the shell tool in the program. This allows you to remove all the meat on the inside based on what percentage you want to have for a wall thickness. Now this next mistake gave me one of the coolest designs I've ever come up with. I was just mirroring the part, but I mirrored it on the wrong side and I slammed it together and made this really cool shape. This totally changed how I looked at the part. Now this new piece had a way better shape. The only problem is I had to remove some of the center where it overlapped. I extracted a triangular piece and I drove it down through the design to whittle out some of the inside space. When I finally locked in the outside geometry, I just started going through and fine-tuned it. changed a lot of the radiuses, smoothed a lot of stuff out, and then I shelled it again to 4 millimeters, which is what me and Nelson talked about for our total thickness for the 3D printer. Once we had this thing shaped up and ready to rock and roll, I was all fired up on 8 cylinders. I just wanted to see what it looked like. If you're thinking of giving Shapr3D a try, when it comes time to download, use the code DON10 and get 10% off. Helps you get in there, test out the waters. I was feeling like a little kid at the moment, like I'm about to open up some Christmas presents. So I'm a little nervous about this because if I did mess anything up, then that means I'd have to go and change the design and send him back the file and take another week or so for him to print this. But I'm hopeful. So let's look at it and see what we got. Holy moly. I don't know if you can tell, but how cool is that? Look at that behemoth. What did we do? Yeah, man, wow. I can't even process the shape to reality. I was nervous about the size. I was nervous about the shape. Now this is gonna be a buck, so this will be carbon fiber at some point. This will be the part that we make the carbon fiber off of. But just to admire this, holy moly, look at the back. That really is cool. I'm proud of that. But wait, you know, we didn't even see if it fit yet. We're getting way too far ahead of ourselves. All right, let's do the big moment and actually see if it fits. Oh, I gotta take the hood off again. No. Jeez. We're in slow and low. All right, big moment. This thing's on the money. On my top end at least. Holy moly, we're on the money. I have to get this thing propped up. Let me go find something to drop us down. This is oh boy. You're not gonna believe it. Look at this. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Now we just laid it in here, but look at this. So this has got to get notched out, little notch, but look at our angle, how it matches up here. This is all gonna get pushed in like this. We're dead on the money. And look at our angle of approach too. Perfectly flat. Oh, look how violent this thing looks. This is like something else. Are we gonna clear our push rod? Oh, you got a little pocket for our push rod. We gotta get some coilovers for this thing, by the way. Let me look at it from up here. Look at that. Imagine that popping through the hood. We got our room for our fans. Ooh, we had to trim up in there just a little bit. Okay, we're good. Dudes and dudettes, we did it. Gotta give you a second. That was a stressful one. All right. So let me refocus here. This is the plan. We are gonna now get it in. Let's make some mounts and figure out how to tie this thing together. Give ourselves enough room so this thing can be a little thicker with the carbon later on. And let's figure out an artistic way to bolt this in so we can put together like a puzzle. All right, now here comes the hard part. We're gonna have to go ahead and translate this shape into that hood. So what I'm gonna do is take a marker here to here, get an idea of where in line this is. I measure off this lip, which I know is flat to the hood. Take that measurement, bounce it to the hood, and I'll trace the piece on top of this. Here's our lip, 4 1/4. Cool, 4 1/4. Start cutting. I'm just gonna put my angle finder on this. I set my measurement here, and I'm gonna play with my angle until it's 90 degrees. Try to two-hand it. There we go. And I'm just gonna come over here at 90, mark it, 90 1/4, right there. Cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate it on the other side. We'll do our scribe line to transfer this over to this. There it is, 44.75. So let's duplicate that on the opposing side. What I'm gonna do next is confirm my line with this laser. Can't beat the laser and how straight it is, so I'll make sure my tape is in the correct spot. We'll check it, and then from there we know we have our scribe line going all the way across. So it's kind of a cool trick. You can see that we're right on the edge, everything's good, and then all of a sudden over here, definitely in the middle, we're off. And then down here it tracks just a little too far down. And this is where my original mark is. So I'm gonna go ahead and change my tape. I wanna realign it, then we're gonna scribe it all the way across. Let's see how this thing fits. What I'm gonna do now is go ahead and get all my measurements, get this thing aligned, really play with getting this thing square on my hood. Then we'll start whittling away all the pieces and kind of incrementally open this hole up. These are the moments I let the OCD just go full-blown wild and let it take over, and I just check things about 400 times before I send it. I'm gonna dive in, we're gonna cut it, and if I mess it up, it's gonna be really hard to find one of these because these are super rare, so wish me luck. Here we go. Masking lines are ready. I just drank 14 cups of coffee, got brand new cutoff wheels, and I'm ready to shred this hood apart. I even got my favorite podcast jamming in the background, How to Be a Real Boy by Teddy McGrumbles. There's one thing in this life I love more than my wife, it's my dog. His name's Pound Cake. Boy, what a bump. Super excited to rip this thing apart, but also deeply saddened that I have to cut this pristine hood. It's probably only 25 left in the world. So let's see what we got. So on the radiator side, we're absolutely dialed. Everything fits. So we're a little shallow back here. Designed this, I was kind of in the middle of either making it way too long and I could trim it, but I knew trimming this was gonna be kind of a pain in the butt, or making it too short. I didn't have a scanner, so I made everything very even. So I knew I was gonna have some stuff to fill in. The big question is now, filling this in is going to take me actually scanning the hood and designing this. So I'm either going to do a two-piece flange top that mates to this, that's with the hood, and then from there we'll carbon fiber it after. This is going to be carbon fiber as well in the future. Or I do some metal work to fill it, but I want to do something really over the top. So this is going to have to be separated to a different episode because this is going to take some huge work to make this all blended in. So we're really on to something. Now we just got to get this to attach to the hood. I'm super stoked. I'm glad that all the math worked out on the radiator side. I'll come to this, we can make some sort of an artistic way to express this flange here to the hood. What I want to work on now with you guys, let's get this thing bolted in. We're gonna go ahead and make some brackets while this is all pressed together, while the hood's on, and tie this thing off, but allow this the radiator to actually get in. So what to do is just take that 1/2-inch tube, let's just go straight out. Let's do kind of somewhere in the middle here. I'm gonna do 15.5. Bends right at the 3-inch mark. Right to that same mark. What I'm doing now is designing a very simple bracket that's going to tie off on each side of the vent to help keep it stable and also keep it centered. Oh, let's see what it looks like. Whoa. Trying to do everything in place here because the hood's kind of holding it all together. It's keeping it exactly where it wants. So I'm just packing. Just gonna tack drill, tack drill. Now we got the bolts in. Gonna snug these up, and it's time we can actually start moving the hood. Because now this thing will center itself. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe this is actually working out. I honestly thought it was going to take a few renditions or whatnot to get us to where we had to be, but I'm so stoked. It looks cool too. The flow is really cool, and I can't wait to see what it's like when I start designing the top plate or the reverse part for this to lay on the hood. I need a scanner, and on that note, I'm gonna tune back into another project that I'm working on. So if you guys like what I'm doing with the Elco, also check this out. This is my 1970 Chevelle. Turning this into a daily driver for the shop, but we're putting a Coyote. We're going to the dark side. Everything here is a Chevy has a Ford, and I'm starting to fall in love with the old Fords. But yeah, we're gonna turn this thing into a daily driver that makes 1,400 horse, and we have all the parts for it. We got our 400. We have all our adapters, brakes, steering box. So yeah, if you like what I'm doing, tune back in. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm gonna go get some rest and then get right back at it. All right, guys, see you soon.